How's it going, everyone? My name is Earlmeister, and today I'm gonna show you guys one of the best melee spear build in New World. This build uses spear as your main weapon and sword and shield as your secondary, and it's an off-tank build. This build is really good at 1v1 duels, and at the same time it's really good in wars too, but unfortunately there's not much space in war for this type of build. Maybe 3 to 5 people can use it, help the blobs get perforated and wreck them, and you're tanky as well, so you can go in the front line without getting punished hard, and I'll explain all of that to you guys in a second here. But first, let's look at the stats, let's look at the build for the spear, and let's look at the build for the SNS, and then I'll talk about how you're gonna use it, what is your cooldowns, what is your rotations, all of that stuff, positioning wise, what is your job in the war, what do you do in a 1v1 PvP, what do you do in OPR, and all of that cool stuff. I'll also show you guys my build in New World with my gears and all of that stuff, so you can get ready into becoming a real Spartan. Yes, that's what it's called, the Spartan. Before I start looking at the stuff that I just talked about, I wanted to tell you guys that I've been running this build since first day of New World, since release. I tested it during closed beta as well. It will take you a while to get used to this build. It's not one of those builds that's easy to use, you know. It took me about a month before I got really comfortable with my rotations. What do I do in this situation and in that situation? It's very important that you put some time into this build in order for you to actually maximize its potential, because the spear is not an easy weapon, especially before the patch. Now you might find it actually easy because you get those lunges when you're doing your light attack. Your pervert has a lunge, you can redirect your pervert anywhere you want, to be honest. It'll swing on an arm, it can go 180, and you can even go 360, just randomly hit everyone that's surrounding you, you know. You can do a lot of things with it. Your skewer as well has 50% extra distance now with your leap and all that stuff. But I want you guys to know that it requires a lot of practice. I have about 700-800 duels in me now, and I've fought around 60-70 wars. I currently have a 43 win. I'm looking forward to getting that 50 win because I want that title, Living Spartan, because that's the name of our build, like what I talked about earlier. This is called the Spartan build. And if you guys are wondering why should I trust you, Earl, with this build and all that stuff, well, here's a little background on me real quick. If you go to my twitch.tv/Earlmeister, debated. No, but for real though, if you go there, you look at my panels, you will see my achievements and the stuff that I did back then competitively in other games. And if that's not enough, then keep watching the video. You will see some of my 1v1 PvPs and all of that. Or just check me out on twitch.tv/Earlmeister to see my gameplay on a daily basis. I stream about 6 to 7 days a week for about 8 to 10 hours a day. You'll see my schedule there too. And before I say 10 more click the subscribe button now, or don't ever click it again. And click the bell button as well. You can only choose one. Which one are you gonna choose? Let's go to the video. Alright everyone, I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet for you guys because this is like my 4th take on this. And talking about this makes it long and it keeps going up to 30 minutes, so I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Let's go ahead and look at our gears over here. So ideally what you want on your gear is resilient, you want freedom, and a weapon perk. So right now I'm in the process of min-maxing, and I'm not gonna keep repeating myself with this part, so make sure you take note on this. This build, let's go to attributes first. it runs 50 strength and 150 dex. The reason why is you just want the dodge cost 10 less stamina on the dex. You don't need the backstabs because this is 70% crit chance build. You're not trying to go behind them just to get that extra damage. So that 50 extra damage here might as well go to strength. And at the same time, right? At the same time, you get that 5 extra bonus from the committed points. But anyways, at the same time, you get your light attacks plus 5% damage. So remember that this build is a light attack build. After you get everything online, all you're gonna be doing with this build is light attack, light attack, light attack, and the rest needs to go to Constitution. So at the end, at the final build, you're gonna end up with 50 strength, 150 dexterity, and 300 Constitution if you eat food. That's basically where you want to be. Now, let's go ahead and check out our gears here. I am full heavy with this gear. You want this is an off-tank build. You want to be as beefy as you can with this. So, like what I said earlier, you need Resilient, Freedom, plus a perk, or you can replace Freedom if you want with the new perks, the Physical or Elemental version for extra survivability. Now, let's look at our helmet right here. It has Resilient, Ancient Ward is poop. Again, I'm in the process of min-maxing. That's why I have this. And on my thing, I just wanted Resilient. Of course, it can be better. It's a blue armor. It's poop. Blah. But this is good enough for me. You're gonna notice that some of my gears as well have strength. Like what I said last time, I'm gonna repeat myself. I'm in the process of min-maxing, but of course you want dexterity or constitution for this build. So this one has Fortifying, Perforate, and Resilient. I have 4 pieces with Resilient. This is the last one with Resilient. It's Keen Vault Kick with Resilient. So you want the again Spear Skill, Fortifying, Perforate, my favorite one, and my other favorite one is Keen Vault Kick as well. And for my boots, I'm running Enfibling Skewer right now. It's very nice. It's 14% weaken to your enemies. This applies weaken for 8 seconds, and preferably I don't want Lost Ward on this. Of course, I want Resilient. Again, I'm min-maxing at the moment. For my shield, what you want is 30 at all times. You can replace it with Sure Footing because movement speed technically is a form of survivability as well. And you want Slash Shield Ward, Frozen Shield Ward, Strike Shield Ward, or Flame Shield Ward, or Void Shield Ward. It really depends on what the meta is in your server, so you can choose between those. Refreshing Ward is a bonus on this, but you don't really need any refreshing abilities. Preferably, you can get a shield keyword for this, or a shield perk. But anything that will maximize your survivability, you can replace it with any of these refreshing stuff. You don't need refreshing because this build has a lot of cooldowns with the spear already. And since spear is your main weapon on this build, you don't really need that cooldown for the sword and shield. I mean, it's nice to have it with the SNS as well, but for the most part, you don't need it. Just extra beefier is much better. So we're gonna go to my amulet. What you want is Divine Health for your 3rd perk. Anything that will maximize your survivability, like what I said, you can get that. Right now, I'm for my gems really quick before we continue on with the other jewelries. I'm using a lot. If you notice, I'm using a lot of the physical resistance. The reason why is we're fighting against a lot of people that uses physical resistance. There's not much magical at the moment that we're fighting against, but you can balance this. It's always nice to have a balanced one, right? But right now I'm in the front line. I tend to fight against hammers and great axe especially a lot, and that is why I'm running a lot of onyx and diamond on my stuff. So let's go to the ring. Keen Awareness and Leeching is what you want. You don't really want Hardy on this build. It's a waste of slot, and the reason why, I know Hardy is expensive and it's a must on pretty much every build, but Dexterity doesn't need Hardy. The reason why is I showed you guys earlier, at 150 dex you get 10% less stamina cost on your dodges. you know, so that 9 extra dodge is not gonna make a difference. Your 150 dex is enough to proc 3 dodges for you already. So if you get a legendary ring, preferably you want leeching, keen awareness, and anything that will extend your debuffs or maximize your damage or defensive stuff. So it really depends on what you want, how you play, right? If you're choosing a third perk for this. So for the earring, you want duplicating toast. Well, you don't really want duplicating toast. Duplicating toast is there because it just saves you money. You want that if you don't like spending money, if you want to have a chance to not consume any of your potions or food buff or honing stones or oak flesh and all of that stuff, any consumables basically. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on that, then run duplicating toast. But what you really want here, the 3 perks that you want, is purifying toast, refreshing toast, so you can get to use your potions as much as you can, and at the same time you want regenerating. Yes, regenerating, it doesn't give you much, but if you have a lot of HP, the value that you will get for it is more than most people will. At the same time, if you have leeching on your ring, those heals over time, right, they stack up, and not to mention you have the food buff as well. So if you have all of those and you're standing on the sacred ground as well, your survivability is just maximized. So that's basically the reason why you want regenerating on your earring. So now with the spear, what you want is the max that I would recommend that is easy to get, or the easiest to get, would be the Javelin of Dryatic Empowerment that you can get in Genesis. It has Keen, Vicious, and Keenly Empowered. You don't really need Keen Fortified, but shout out to Dino Harris because I don't have any decent spear. He gave me this, he's my guildmate. He gave me this about a month ago, and I've been using it since then. It has Keen and Keenly Fortified. I can maximize the potential here of keenly fortified, but for the most part you want keenly empowered. But the end game for me is keen vicious with the new perk called plague crits. So it's an anti-heal for your opponents. It's really huge value. But if you can get plague crits, you want keen, vicious, and leeching. So if I have to choose one, to be honest, since I play with my teammate Cythologist or Scythe, he uses a Void Gauntlet and he has anti-heal with a Petrifying Scream, if I pronounce that right. He has anti-healing with that already, so I don't need to run plague crits, but plague crits is still nice. But leeching will just maximize my survivability. I want my survivability to be as high as it can, because this build just can do much. You do so much debuffs with your opponent that your other teammates can benefit as well, which is 30% rend, right? You just do so much debuffs that you want to stay alive as much as you can to support your team, not only with your decent amount of DPS, but with also your debuffs. So with your secondary, I run SNS because I like to, as you may know, I like to maximize my survivability. But you can run a bunch of different secondary here. You can run a great axe, you can run a hammer, you can run a lot of different stuff. But the most important part, whatever you run, you need keen and keenly jagged. The reason why you want keenly jagged is because your spear gets 15% extra crit chance for every target that has bleed. So now let's go ahead and take a look at our take a look at our weapons. I'm gonna go through this really quick. Impaler build is what you need. You can close your eyes right now and still remember this, because all of your ability points goes to Impaler tree. So you have a Skewer that got recently buffed. It's a really good dash for you to hit your opponents. Not to mention, it does 425 total damage, 125 on the initial hit, and then you get 300% extra damage from the bleed. So when you have deep wound, it goes to 300% because of the 15 seconds. So gain in power if skewer critical hits. So this is very crucial that your skewer will crit because this doesn't work if it's just your light attack. It needs to be the skewer that crits in order to get that 20% extra damage. It's very nice, and if you hit them with this, then you do more damage if they have full health. Now let's go to my favorite skill, Perforate. Right, when you perforate someone, you apply 30% rend if they're 50% or over. It always changes, you know. Sometimes it's 25, sometimes it's 15, right? Sometimes it's 20, but the most value that you can get with it is 30% rend if they're 50% or below, 50% or higher, I meant. And at the same time, your targets, if you hit them with all 3 hits, they're gonna get staggered, which is another form of CC for you. If you don't know what stagger is, watch LeBron James getting fouled in YouTube compilation, the overacting stuff. That's what a stagger is. So with Perforate, it's not just 80% per strikes that you do. You have to consider that every time you apply rend, you do 10% more damage or 5% more damage. It depends on how much HP they have. So this is not actually 240, it's around 270% damage. Now let's go to Keen Vault Kick or Vault Kick, right? Your perk here is Keen Vault Kick, which is one of the things that's very important that you have, because it gives you 18% crit chance for 6 seconds after you use your Vault Kick if you hit your Vault Kick. So it's a 1.5 second stun. It's a like a kicking dash thing. You launch yourself from using your spear and then kick your enemies. This can hit multiple targets as well. All of these things can hit multiple targets if you're in the right position. So that is why you're tanky, so you can get on people's faces and you can hit anything that's behind or beside them. Alrighty, so you get 20% empower if you have this this perk and they're below 50%, which is really nice. But the most important part with this, aside from the Keen Vault Kick, is the third perk, which is 30% cooldown reduction. So this build, right, before we keep on talking about that overpowered 30% cooldown reduction, well, for me it's OP because I have unlimited cooldowns, and I'll explain to you guys here why you have that. So every time you dodge with the spear and you use the skill, you get 20% extra cooldown reduction. So if you dodge and you use your Keen Vault Kick, you get 50% cooldown reduction. That is huge. That is very, very important when you're using your Keen Vault Kick. So dodge, and it makes it easier anyways if you dodge and then Keen Vault Kick into the enemy, so you get extra distance closer to your enemies. So right now, let's talk about the crits really quick. Whew. I've been talking so fast because I want to make this short. I'm running out of breath. All right, so let's talk about the crit chance real quick. So like what I said, Keenly Jagged earlier, and Skewer will proc the bleeds on your enemy, so you get that 15% extra bleeding, extra crit chance. And with the light attacks, because it's a light attack build, after you get Skewer and Perforate online, you want to keep on spamming that light attacks because it does so much damage. All your basic attack basically turns into skill. So light attacks have 5% extra critical chance. So you have 20% from that, 18% with Vault Kick, 5% from your spear, 5% from 50 dex, 11% from your Keen Awareness, and 11% from your Keen, a total of 70% crit chance that you will get. So finishing blows, it's a very nice finisher. You get 15% extra damage against 30% people with 30% or lower health. And this is just a real nice debuff, and at the same time it just helps you keep them close to you. Crippling jabs every time you finish your light attack chains, which is the second hit. You only hit twice with the spear light attack combo, so you apply 30% slow every time you attack them if they're below 30% health. So it just helps you finish. This too is just a great finisher for any targets that you attack. Now this one right here, it's very nice against hammer users or axe users or strength users in general, because anyone or anything with the grit, you do 20% extra damage against them. Now this is one of my favorite things as well, exacerbating crits. Critical hits extends your duration for your spear, debuffs, and damage over time effects by 20%. So it's 70% extra crit chance build. Your debuffs on your enemy is basically almost unlimited until they die, you know, unless they die. And last but not least, my favorite part of this is the exploited weakness. Let me go ahead and move really quick because the game thinks I'm AFK, but I'm trying to make a video here, game. So exploited weakness here, deal 10% for each debuff, bonus damage for each debuff on your target, max 30%. You're not gonna have a problem maximizing this 30% because you just have so many debuffs. You have slow, weaken, you have bleed, you have rend, right? You have all sorts of debuffs with this build, so don't be worried about maximizing that. It's pretty much always there, helping you out, melt your opponents. All right, let's go to Sword and Shield. Like what I said, Sword and Shield is mainly for maximizing your survivability, right? And at the same time, the most important part is Leaping Strike as well. So on PvP, this is very important, but on 1v1 PvP, but on War, it's a nice thing to have. Stun the healer, move on, because you're not gonna be able to kill a healer 1v1, but it helps with your chain stun because this thing has 5 chain stuns, which I will talk about in a second here with your full rotations with the skill. So let's talk about this really quick. This is for survivability, right? This is for survivability as well because it gives you stamina every time you hit your shield bash or shield rush. It gives you 15 stamina, 30 if you hit both, right? More dodges, more survivability. And this is really, really important recuperation because all forms of regeneration or healing is increased by 10%. Now, this is really nice to have as well because you can help your teammates survive. You have 30% reduced damage to all of your allies that within 2 meters. It's not hard to know how far is 2 meters because you have a circle animation around you, which will show you who is in the circle and who is not. Now, Shield Rush right here has nice debuffs as well, that when you switch to your Sword and Shield, you have 2 debuffs right away on them. It gives 10% weaken for 10 seconds and 30% slow for 4 seconds. Now the shield bash here, it's just extra damage, but you're not using the shield bash for damage, you're using it for crowd control, and it has the 3 seconds once you have this. Now leaping strike here, let's talk about it really quick. It's like what I said, it's your tool to get out of a fight, it's your tool to catch up on opponents, and it's your tool to get in the blob as fast as you can, so you can leaping strike if you're far, and then maybe switch, and if you're still far, then skewer into rend into the blob, right? It's a really fast animation. That's why this is the secondary that I use, because I need to get in the front line as fast as I can to help my teammates kill the opponents faster than ever. All right, so if you hit them and they're below 30% health, you do extra damage. Again, this is not for damage, but it actually does decent damage if you hit them in the back with this, and it crits. Now, leaping strike, this is one of the thing that's like for sure you will kill any healer out there if you hit them with this and your teammates are following up. If you hit them in the back, it's 50% slow for 8 seconds. This is huge. So make sure you keep that in mind as much as you can. You want to hit them in the back with leaping strike if you're trying to assassinate someone with it. Now, this is a choice here, whichever one you want. If you want more empowered, then go ahead, be my guest. Use this heavy attacks, but for me, the animation is a bit too long. I can do other things other than waiting for that animation to hit. And sometimes you don't even hit them because like it's easy to predict, easy to dodge, right? But it's nice to have that 30% extra empower. I have 20% extra empower already, anyways, with my stuff with spear, so I'm happy with that already. So that is why I run Achilles heel, so I can do a light chain attack with people, and it's 20% slow. It just helps my teammates finish other people, and I can set up kills for them. So with precision, you get critical chance strike with sword and shield for 10%. Again, you're running sword and shield, right, and you have keenly jagged, you want that so you can maximize the keenly jagged. You make everyone bleed 15% extra crit chance on them. And last but not least, this is a choice as well. I like this because it gives me mobility with my shield. I don't feel like a freaking turtle when I'm putting up my shield. But also this is another sub to it, because every time you put up your shield and they keep attacking, you get 3% empower per hit, and it has a 15% max, which is 15% empower max for 5 seconds. Alrighty, so now that we talked about that, let's talk about our cooldowns and rotation really quick with the sword and shield. So what you want to do with sword and shield and spear, what you want to do on a 1v1 PvP is use shield bash first. Catch them with your shield bash first. After you shield bash, you want to follow up with skewer, because you want to apply the weaken, and you want to apply the bleed on them, because the earlier you can apply the bleed, the more damage you will do, because of it's a 15 seconds damage over time, so you can maximize that. But the most important part, why you want this, is for 15 seconds, you have the 15% extra crit chance on your targets. So what you do is you shield bash into skewer. Now, they're most likely going to dodge after they get hit by the skewer. If they don't dodge, feel free to use your perforate right away. If they dodge, follow them. Mimic their dodges, the direction of their dodges. If they dodge forward, you dodge forward, and the moment they try to fight back, you do your perforate. Now, if they're gonna do a stun or anything that will prevent you or cancel your pervert, then do another dodge again, because you're running opal in on your spear anyway. So every time your stamina is not max, you get 15% extra damage, and you have 3 dodges anyways. So that's 2 dodges burned. Usually other people has 2 dodges as well, but like what I said, follow them and mimic them with their dodge. Follow up with perforate. After you perforate, you can spam your light attacks. Now, if you have a chance to, if you get an opening, you dodge into vault kick and then spam light attack, or dodge into vault kick and then refresh everything with your skewer, because this does a lot of damage anyways, especially when it crits. So that's basically your cooldown. Now I'm missing 2 skills, right, on what I said, but the reason why I didn't mention leaping strike on that combo and the shield rush, because these 2 skills are mainly used for mobility. So if you get caught with grab, do not disrespect the grabs. If you get caught with grab, you want to get out of there. You can't out damage them when they have grabs, because most likely if they're a GA main or Great Axe main, they have insatiable grab val, and that's big sustain for them. They have a lot of heals for them. So don't contest them on the grab. Switch to your sword and shield when you get caught with the grabs, and then leap strike away from it, or you can shield rush away from it too. So it really depends which one you use. But if you're ahead, you can be greedy against your opponent on a 1v1. What you can do is you can leap strike them, right? Leap strike into shield rush, into shield bash. It's a combo. If they don't run any freedom, it's almost a guaranteed combo that all of those will connect. So this is a stagger, knockback, stagger, stun, and then you can do your combos with your spear. That's basically what you do with 1v1s. Now, let's go ahead and watch the videos of my 1v1s and what I do in war. That way you guys have a clear vision or a clear picture on how to use the build in wars and in 1v1 PvP. And I didn't put any OPR because OPR is basically a mini war. You have the same role, same things that you do in war when you're using this build in Outpost Rush. So let's go ahead and watch it. All right, so let's go ahead and watch this really quick. And this is basically my POV of the war. As you guys can see, I'm always in the front line. I'm always in the blob. I'm always in the point when we're ready to spike the point, right? Where we're ready to dish out all of our damage. I'm always there to perforate. If you guys notice and watch my skill bar, every time I'm close to the enemy or every time I'm close to a group of enemies, I'm always perforating. And I also use Vault Kick and Leap Strike, and now I'm gonna be using Skewer as well to get close to my opponents, so I can actually get there as fast as I can and do my Perforate against them. So here it's a very short video. It's pretty much done. You guys can repeat it if you want. It's just to show you guys that Perforate, how fast you can melt enemies, and also my way of positioning and how do I get there fast in order for me to perforate as fast as I can, so my teammates can melt them as fast as I can, as fast as they can. Alrighty. Here I'm gonna do some 1v1 duels so you guys can see as well how I use my combos. Again, I put my shield bash and I try to skewer, and then after that I just follow them and be sticky on them as much as I can. Of course, I still make mistakes here and there, right? I miss my perforate often because it's just a really hard skill to hit, but not anymore, since now they buffed your light attacks and your perforate. They have more lunge, and your skewer is much easier to hit as well, and it's a great gap closer because it gained 50% extra dash to it. There I won against Strats. Now I'm playing against Mech, and Mech is one of our top DPS on Pirate Gaming. And right here, because I know that he has a bow, I just try to be as sticky as I can against him. When it comes to that, rapier is actually one of the hardest weapon to fight with this build, so make sure to look out for that. But luckily I was able to combo him there, and I can do as much as I can, try to take advantage every time I have an opening, and give him the sweet GGs, you know, because he's a really good player. I got lucky there, to be honest, with sticking to him as best as I can. All right, so here you can see that against Ice Shower and Ice Storm, right, I try to leap out of it if I get caught on the shower or the ice wall, whatever you want to call it. I try to just put up my shield. You're actually able to take the damage with that, you know, and survive still, so you can get close to them. And when you get the opening, just try to leap strike to them, combo them, and use as many skills and rotation that you can against them, like the ones that I taught you guys earlier on the videos. All right, we got the vault kick there, we got the perforate, and we got the bleed online, and here it's just gonna be basically bleeding to death. All right, so there I got lucky, I got out of that. Now I switch to sword and shield, I leap strike, right, so I can close the gap between us. And when you're running, if you guys can see that every time they're about to light attack, I put up my shield. It's a lot of work, like what I said. It's something that you need to practice and get used to before you can actually maximize the potential of the build. Try to bait things out by putting up your shield as much as you can. Start with the shield bash into skewer, into perforate, right? If they're not running away, then perforate. Dodge, refresh everything with your vault kick. Try to perforate or skewer after that, and just spam light attacks basically. I'm not doing much damage because I was attacking him and comboing him during Defiant Stance. What I should have done is, while he's casting his Defiant Stance, I should have done my vault kick to cancel it. All right, but it's a lot of like timing, you know, and trying to perfect the rotations. So now we just light attack as much as we can, because he has a lot of debuffs already, and when he has a lot of debuffs, then we do a lot of damage. We're doing pretty decent damage against him too, since he's full heavy, you know. You don't expect yourself to do much damage, especially with just 150 dex, but it's enough damage to win your duels. It's a very close thing here. I missed my vault kick there. I don't know why that didn't hit, But now that I'm about to die and he's about to die, I try to bait out everything first, use it against them, appear weak when you were strong. But we had our cooldowns there, and we're basically able to bait him to come closer and do our combos. 175. Whew, I was cutting it close, huh? And here again, try to read your opponent, shield bash when you can, then into skewer, into perforate, right? I stunned him. Instead of following up with the damage, I jumped out of it, because I have to respect that Gravwell will do a lot of damage with me. I'm gonna get combo in there, and they're gonna heal themselves if they stay in. So I leap strike out of it, and basically that won me the game. All right. So dodge out of that. It's very easy skill to dodge on 1v1, right? There you go again. Shield bash into skewer, and then try to basic or perforate whenever you get the opening. And then once you have everything online, it's basically dodge, light attack, dodge, light attack, dodge, light attack. We get a rematch with him. Of course, gotta give them that rematch, Can't take that away from them. So here I tried to bait out step, but I had to leap strike because he opened up with grav. I shield rush and shield bash into skewer, into a kick, into perforate. Now I have all my cooldowns again. I can light attack, or I can skewer there as well, right? To refresh all of my cooldowns and stuff. It almost looks like the hammer killed him there, but it was the bleed killed him. All right, I kept this part of the video because it's like, can't wait for spear meta, because spear is getting a big buff. And I replied back, it's spear meta with me every day. For me every day. Let's go. All right, Robin is actually a really good player too. And I got an opening there with the shield bash, so I shield bash into skewer. Although I missed my perforate, most likely nowadays I won't miss my perforate anymore. I would at least hit 2 or 3 of them, or 1 at the very least, because of the ability to change direction. I'm kind of taking a lot of damage there, which is not good. But I caught him with the vault kick into skewer, big damage. And of course he's gonna want to kill me. But the thing is, everything is online on him already, and skewer and Ren just did so much damage there. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that it will help you as well in the future. If you've been trying to make the spear as your main weapon melee build work, I hope that this Spartan build will help you in the future. But if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing now, or don't ever subscribe again. You can only choose one. Which one you're gonna choose? Click the bell button as well, and comment what you think about the video. And also don't forget that I stream on Twitch. I'm a Twitch partner, and I stream for 6 to 7 days a week, for 8 to 10 hours. So yeah, check me out at twitch.tv/Earlmeister, and on Twitter I'm at Earlmeister. Feel free to hit me up anytime. Say hi, stop by, and let's talk about spear stuff, or let's just talk about a game in general, because I really love the game despite all its downfall with the bugs and all of that. I feel like the time that AGS has put into it is just not enough at the moment, but they released the game anyways because it's a great game, and everyone is crying for it for its release already. And over time it's gonna get better with the stuff. It's already getting better, because every week they're trying to fix stuff, and of course some stuff break, but then they try to fix it again, and it's always just like that. And for the record, no MMO is really good in the release anyways. MMOs are a really hard game to balance or to perfect, right? But the fact that they're doing their best to do everything to make the game better for us and to give us a better experience is something that I appreciate a lot. So yeah, see you guys next time on the next video.